Hi guys, it's time for little Hank the Cowdog. We're on chapter 8, and if you remember correctly, he kind of found that pretty little coyote. He kind of found Missy Coyote, and he was thinking she was kind of cute. But then her whole family showed up, and then he could have been in trouble. So chapter 8 is Hank runs a bluff. A bluff is kind of like a lie. So he's going to try to pass off and he's going to try to talk like he's telling the truth, but a bluff is actually when you're telling a lie. But you hope people will buy it. So let's find out. Hank runs a bluff. Missy's old man was the chief. His full proper name was, a real long name. In coyote culture, it meant that it was a beautiful name, but can you imagine having to give a poor pup a name? Oh, it was so long I can't even say it. That just shows how backwards these coyotes are. Anyway, nobody used to call him by his full name, except at rituals or councils and such. Mostly, they just called him Chief Gut, or just plain Gut. Gut was an old devil, skinny. You could count every rib he owned on both sides. Looked like a one-way plow with a wet blanket thrown over the discs. Walked with a limp and packed his right front leg, which was missing a couple of toes. He had a long scar down the front of his face, and his nose was all beat up, and his left ear looked as though the rats had been chewing on it. He came limping over to where I was, and strangely enough, he had a smile on his face. Made me feel a little better about things, though. Aha! He laughed. Daughter catch dog. Coyote girl pretty, isn't she? Mighty pretty. Yes, she is. You like, huh? He turned to the other coyotes. This dog likes my daughter. Thinks she's pretty. They roared at that. Got a good chuckle out of it. I must have missed the joke. Old Gut turned back to me. Old foolish dog. Chase coyote girl into canyon. Very foolish. You leave ranch and come here without big hat or boom boom. Alright, I'm doing my best to translate this conversation from the coyote dialect, but maybe I ought to pause right here and give you some terminology. Big hat's what those coyotes would call cowboys. And the boom boom, yeah, you probably got it, meant their gun. So I thought I'd better get that straight. I mean, you can't expect everyone to be fluent in 3 or 4 or 5 different languages like I was. That's just part of my whole job, being one of the many top-notch cow dogs that a master has to be able to take over the ranch. You gotta be able to do that sort of thing. I might also mention that I had a fair knowledge of the coon, possum, and badger dialects. And I could bluff my way through a chicken and prairie dog. Actually, chicken's pretty simple. Chickens are so dumb, they only have about a half a dozen words in the whole language. And 3 of those words are just different ways of saying, help me, help me. Alright, we got that out of the way. So now where was I? Let's see here. Old Gut turned to me. Foolish dog to chase coyote girl into canyon. Oh, wait. You already heard that part. Okay, how about this? Now you in big trouble. Ha! You do good job. Daughter catch dog. Not catch dog, she said. Dog helped me. He saved my life. His name Hunk. Hunk is a friend. The old man scowled. Hunk not a friend. Fight coyote many time away from chicken. He chicken dog. Chicken dog? Well, them was fighting words. If Missy hadn't been there to hold me back, I might have cleaned house on the whole coyote nation. Me and old man Gut went nose to nose and were growling at each other. I caught some motion out of the corner of my eye. I looked. It was Scrunch. He was crouched low, walking real slow like. Hair along his backbone was bristled all the way from the back of his neck to the tip of his tail. Had a snarl on his mouth that showed 2 rows of long white fangs. He was a big dude. Tall, brawny, raw-boned, and so ugly that a guy could hardly stand to look at him in the face. Kinda throwed a chill over me. Old man Gut backed off. Now what you say, chicken dog? You scared now, huh? I swallowed and tried to keep my knees from going out on me. Nah, I ain't scared. You're not scared of Scrunch? Then you're not smart. Scrunch is a very bad fellow. I glanced at Missy. Tell your brother that I don't like the look on his face. She told him. He stopped and roared with laughter. Laughter went all through all the coyotes. When they quit yipping and howling, I went on. Tell your brother that if he takes one more step, I'm going to use him to sweep this whole pasture. When I get done, there won't be a cactus left in the whole county. She told him. He grinned and took another step. Tell your brother I saw that, and I won't be forgetting it. Missy shook her head. Not talk so big. It makes Scrunch mad. Big mouth will get you into big trouble. One of the first rules you learn in security work is an old piece of dog wisdom. Never bite if you can just bark. Never bark if you can just growl. And never growl if you can talk. And never talk if you can just run. In other words, when the odds are against you, the best kind of fight is no fight at all. That was my strategy, you see. The longer I talked, the longer I was hoping to stay alive. And who knows, I just might say something that would change Scrunch's mind about tearing me from limb to limb, though I didn't have a great deal of hope. There's the picture for that one. There they all are. He was standing maybe 4 or 5 feet in front of me, and a hush had fallen over the tribe. All the eyes were on just the two of us. He sat down and leered at me. And I mean leered, brother. This wasn't no ordinary grin. So I leered right back. Well, I tried to anyway. Though I never really was good at leering. Then I turned to Missy again. Tell your brother I've changed my mind. If he can mind his manners and act right, well, we'll just forget this whole thing. Missy started to speak, but Scrunch lifted his paw for silence. Not speak through my sister, he said in a deep, rumbling voice. You can talk. You speak to Scrunch. All right, I nodded. You asked for it. You really done it this time. I was prepared to forget this whole thing and just let it slide. But by George, if you're going to keep pushing and mouthing off, well then, hey, let's get serious about this. Come on. He didn't move. Come on, get off your duff and let's settle this thing once and for all. I'm tired of all this waiting. I mean, I came out here to get you, after all, Scrunch. Oh, I know you thought that I was out here looking for your sister. Ha! That's just what I wanted you to think. It was all a trap, Scrunch. And you walked right into it. Oh, you're dumb. Such a dumb brute you are, I didn't think you'd actually fall for it. I never dreamed it would be this easy. All these months I've just been waiting to settle the score between us. I never dreamed I could just walk into the canyon and you come to me. Speaking of silence, those coyotes were silent. Guess they couldn't believe that what they were hearing. Scrunch glanced at Chief Gut. Gut glanced at Missy. Missy glanced at me. I smiled and gave her a wink. Scrunch stood up, and so did the hair on the back of his neck. Scrunch is now going to kill Chicken Dog. You think so? You actually think that? I cut loose with a wild laugh. Holy cats! Where have you been all your life? You've been up here in these boojacks too long, Scrunch. You're so country it hurts. I mean, this is pathetic. I almost feel sorry for you. I took a step toward him. You still don't understand, do you? It still hasn't soaked through your thick barbarian skull that you've walked right into my trap. Huh, I can't believe this. Scrunch cut his eyes toward old Gut. Scrunch killed Chicken Dog. But there was a little less conviction this time. Okay, I marched right up to him until there weren't more than a couple of inches between our noses. Well, if you're bound and determined to go through with this, let's get it on. But first, I want to do something. I want you to ask yourself a question. Why would a smart dog walk right into the middle of a bunch of coyotes in their country? Put your little brain to work on that, Scrunch. If you figure that out, then you'll know the secret. I'll give you 30 seconds. Nobody moved. There wasn't a sound, not a whisper. 15 seconds went by real slow. I was in the process of checking out all the escape routes when an old woman coyote turned out to be Scrunch's mother, broke the circle and came out to him. She whispered something in his ear. "No," he growled. "Scrunch is not scared to kill the chicken dog." The old lady went to whispering again. Then old Chief Gut limped over and joined the conversation. It was kind of an agitated conversation. They growled and snapped and snarled. Typical coyote family discussion, I imagine. "All right," I yelled. "Your time's up. I'm out of patience. Have you figured out the secret, or shall we start spilling blood?" The old lady led Scrunch away. He glared daggers at me over his shoulder. But old Chief Gut came over and stood in front of me. "We will not fight today." "Rats," I said, and almost fainted with relief. "All right, if that's the way you want it, well, let's just let it slide this time. But I'm warning you, don't you let this happen again." "Not happen again." "Good. Well, I guess we understand each other." "We understand." "Very good. So now if you coyotes will just stay where you are, I'll slip on out of here and get on my way." I started backing away and ran into 3 big coyote bucks. "Excuse me, boys, if you'll just..." "Hunk, not understand." Missy then came over. "Hunk, you will stay and become a coyote warrior. You will prove yourself many fights. Then you will marry Missy Coyote." "Huh?" I shot a glance at Chief Gut, who was grinning and bobbing his head. "Yes, very good, you stay. Make outlaw. Make warrior." "Make warrior? Well, I've always wanted, but I really have to." I tried to ease around those 3 coyotes again who were blocking my path. When I moved, though, they moved. They didn't intend to let me out of there. This is the way it was looking, anyway. "Stay, not leave," the chief went on. "Old coyote tradition. Adopt a brave dog and make our brother." "Brave? Well, I can set you straight on that. You see, together we'll kill many chickens, eat lots of cats every day, howl at the moon. Boy. I don't know about eating no cat. I tried to edge around those 3 bruisers, but they pushed me back." "Dog, not leave," said the chief. "Yes, sir." "Maybe later marry my daughter. Have a lot of puppies. Everybody happy but Scrunch. Too bad. He just not understand the secret." There was no chance of me getting out of there, so I walked over to the chief. "You figured out the secret?" He laughed and nodded his head. "Oh, yes." "Well, what'd you figure out?" Gut glanced over his shoulders and brought his mouth right next to my ear. "The secret. Too secret to tell." "You got it all right. You sure did." We had a good laugh, me and old Gut, but I doubt that we were laughing about the same thing. Alright, that's the end of that chapter. Was Hank able to bluff his way out of trouble? Was he able to kind of lie and be able to get to where he wasn't in trouble? He was. He was able to do that. He was able to bluff them to make him think that he was tougher than he was. So yes, if you're bluffing someone, you're trying to get them to believe something that is not necessarily true. Alrighty, guys. We will do another chapter on Friday. So chapter 9, and then we only have... let's see here. Then we'll only have about 3 chapters left. So we'll finish this right about the end of when we have our packets all done. Alrighty, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. Talk to you later. Bye.